What's up guys, T-Party Percy here, and as you know, the first alpha test day of Blue Protocol is over and it's time for a short review and my first impression. Before we start, I need to address two important topics. First, the game is in alpha phase, which means the stuff or the contents we tested might change later on during the development. Second thing is the NDA. As mentioned in the previous video, we are not allowed to share images or videos of the alpha gameplay or alpha test, so that is the reason why you have to watch the boring trailer video in the background over and over again. Sorry for that. Tons of people already got banned from the game for ignoring the NDA. According to the Japanese game app, 150 accounts were banned while the servers were still up, and they are still on it and scanning through all the platforms. So be careful guys. Okay, now let's start with the review and my first impression. First things first, the performance was amazing. No FPS drops and the loading screen took maximum 5 seconds. Even if the devs warned that the game might crash during the test, it didn't happen. There were no DCs and no server-side lags. Server issues and bad optimization are common for alpha tests I played in the past, but this game was so fucking smooth. I will give it a 10 out of 10 for server performance and optimization. The next question which was asked quite a lot in the Discord was, is Blue Protocol an open world game? Short answer, no. It has zones, and if you walk from one zone to the next zone, there will be a very short loading screen. But the zones are big and each channel can hold at least 30 players. The game feels really alive. You have tons of NPCs running in the cities, and even the combat zones are populated with a decent amount of monsters roaming around. Game looks role-player friendly with a lot of emotes and interactions. There are also around about 10 costumes which you can buy for in-game currency right at the beginning. Now let's talk about the weapon. You are not stuck with the same weapon for a very long time. You get the second weapon pretty early, and the third one can be crafted by gathering mats in the world and collecting mats by killing monsters. So yeah, that also means there is a weapon crafting system. Crafting and the gathering systems are not complicated and pretty intuitive. The rune system which I mentioned in my last video is a different approach and a good substitute for the armor system which we know from other MMOs. The combat pet system, which I also mentioned in my last video and didn't know how it worked, I have also more infos about that now. Basically, you can get kinda like monster souls as a very rare drop from monsters, which will give you, once you equip it, some stat boosts and an active skill. You can equip up to 2 souls and can change it if you are out of combat. The first soul can be obtained through a quest, and after that, most of the guys I played with weren't lucky enough to get a soul drop from the monster. Except for that one guy in our party, like in every other fucking game, was incredibly lucky and got like 6 monster souls. Moving on, let's focus on the combat and skills. The combat is fluid and animation cancel is possible. Most of the skills have very short cooldown and there are quite a few skill shots. Even the low level mobs have more than one attack pattern, and because of the huge aggro range, it is not that easy to group up tons of mobs and nuke them down. Early mobs have already CC, charge and interrupt skills. This is also the case for the quicktime bosses which can appear in a zone and are not easy to kill. The first one I encountered, I killed it with 7 other random players together. Now to the dungeons. The first one was pretty easy, but the second one on easy mode was challenging. Especially the last boss had multiple attacks which you had to evade or block, and if you missed the right timing, it could one-shot you. The boss also had a second phase which made him stronger and added a few more skills. We were 6 alpha testers in the voice, and because of a party making issue, each of us tried the dungeon with random players and everyone's party members struggled at the last boss or were nearly wiped. All in all, I really liked the combat and the increase of difficulty. It was challenging enough for the first 14 levels, which is why I wouldn't call Blue Protocol a button smash game. During the first day of alpha, we encountered 3 different kind of quests: gathering, combat and dungeon related quests. Because of the day and night cycle in the game, there were also mobs which only spawned during the nighttime and quests which were related to those specific mobs. The game also has a dungeon finder, which allows you to matchmake or enter a dungeon without having to run to the entrance of the dungeon. Also, before you ask in the comments, we don't know anything about PvP yet. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of contents which are not implemented in this first alpha test. Overall, the game looks more than solid, and I was surprised in a really positive way, which was also the case for the rest of the alpha testers in Blue Protocol Discord. Of course, there were things which need improvement, like the aggro range of the mobs or the dungeon finder, but those are small issues which you usually encounter during an alpha test of a game. So yeah, if you have any questions or stuff we should check out on day 2, write it in the comments or in the subreddit or in the Discord, which are linked down below in the description. I hope this video was helpful, even if it was really short. And if you liked it and don't want to miss any infos about Blue Protocol, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Until the next video, see you guys, bye bye, your Tea Party Percy.